joining us.
Good evening.
Last time we were chatting, you were reporting back on the perceptions of investors for last year, and there was some good news there. And they had heard a lot of people following Mandela and the proceedings, the way we came together as a country. Now, can we gauge the impact that the strike has had over the last few months?
You know, I think the main thing is, as just this morning, the Minister of Finance was also in the media commenting on the latest GDP figures, and I think it's a very well-known fact that the slump in the mining production has had a decided impact on the GDP of the country. So that's in numbers. However, a reputation is a much different thing, you know, because the reputation of a country is shaped by anything from policy to the behavior of individual citizens, you know, and those things are measured.
The important thing is it translates into the numbers down the line in terms of investment numbers sometimes.
Definitely. And I think just for this morning, A.T. Kearney, for example, released their FDI Confidence Index, where South Africa actually ranks 13th in the world as the 13th most attractive investment destination according to investors. Another number that we can look at is the Ernst & Young Africa Attractiveness Survey that shows that South Africa in 2013 attracted 142 greenfields in FDI projects, and the closest competitor there is actually Kenya at 68. So when you look at greenfields investment as well as flows then in the financial sector, South Africa definitely attracts the bulk of FDI on the African continent. So how do we get into that picture, as Brad is saying? I think linked to our previous conversation, you know, when we look at, for example, this year today, we also launched the theme of this year's South African Competitiveness Forum. And that forum is very much a platform where we reach out to our stakeholders in government, in business and in civil society to assist us to understand the issues that impact on both reputation and competitiveness. Because when we relate the story of the country globally, it's a question of, in this year's theme, active citizenship and its role in changing the South African brand reality. So that's calling on South Africans to play their part, you know, in business, in society, that we can actively change the areas where we are weak, you know, and to use more the examples of the areas where we are strong. And there are some very strong areas where we perform as a country.
Surely Labour will be part of those discussions. I believe it will be, and we are hearing from people looking at investment abroad that people are concerned that after 20 years we still have the same structure, we still have migrant labour on the mines, we still have this huge inequality, we still have a problem not only with labour relations but with education, and that prevents skills, prevents workers receiving more. Surely we need something completely different.
You know what we are calling on?
Yes.
No. What we are calling on through this year's Competitiveness Forum is specifically for organisations to share with us projects that have been successful, be it in government, be it in business, be it in civil society, so that we can learn more about the examples of things that work. Because it's as the case now in your report just before we came on air from what the new Minister of Mineral Resources has been doing. I think that is reputation management, and that is actively showing what the ministry is doing to actively not intervene but bring the relevant parties together and come to a solution. Those are the steps that we need to be taking a lot of notice of at this point in time, because that is actually what also helps to restore confidence in a sector. And I think also in this year's forum, for example, we have a session devoted to labour, and the purpose of that is also we need to expand our debate on labour in South Africa. You know, yes, we've had a very difficult issue in the Platinum Belt in particular, but remember this, the biggest contributor probably to revenue in the country comes from workers, people who earn salaries in this country. So the role of labour in promoting or building the nation brand is a very important thing. Hence also our focus on active citizenship, which is a very important theme in the National Development Plan. So,
Petrus, very quickly, we're running out of time, but you said, and I think it's true, that a lot of people seem to be welcoming government's proactive stance. So this will have a good impact on our reputation abroad.
Definitely, but I think now the question is, it will have a good impact, but I think also as South Africans, you know, we must probably also look more into how we make decisions and how our behaviour ultimately impacts not only on the country, but, you know, also perceptions outside.
All right, thank you so much for your time this evening. Petrus de Kock, Research Manager at Brand SA.